Rasmus was employed by Ghislaine for an initial term of 3 months. As it turned out, there was a very specific reason for that. And during that time, he began to test the boundaries of his and Ghislaine's relationship, and she began to test him by incrementally increasing his responsibilities.
I kind of see this as a test. She wanted to test me, and she said, or show me, I don't know, but I can tell the story. She wanted me to bake a sponge cake. And she told me like it was like kind of like a big, like hard project. And we went up to her kitchen, and she was like watching me do the sponge cake, like, well, how you do it. But most people had done it. It's not that hard. But then she made a huge deal out of it. She tasted it, and she was like, "Oh, you made a really good sponge cake," and like very good. And so I don't know what she wanted, if she like wanted to build some trust or whatever that was. But it was just, I remember actually thinking right then and there, like, this is weird. Like, why am I doing this in her kitchen? And why is she acting like this is such a big deal? I guess she didn't like make a lot of food, but she made it into a huge deal. And that was kind of the start of like the relationship between her and I getting better. Because in the beginning it was, I mean, I had tons of respect for her. I had all the time, but in the end, still, I could take out like some like turns. Like I could joke with her. I did it once. I made a joke, a Tinder joke. I don't remember exactly what it was, that she wouldn't get any hits on Tinder. And there was a guy there, and he laughed, and she was like, "Oh," like laughing. And she was like, "I'll send you home for saying that." But it made me, I got confidence after a while. She had a party at her house, and I was in charge of grilling the hamburgers. And after that, I mean, I was so nervous. She had all her friends there, and I made everybody hamburgers. And after that night, I was done. I was sweaty. I was so tired, and I honestly gave all I had. And she said, "You're amazing. Like, how couldn't I have seen this before? You actually shown what you can do." She made a huge deal out of that too. And after that, she was like, "You have to come back. You have to do a burn and turn," which I guess is just, I can only stay there for 3 months because of the tourist visa. Then I would just go back to Sweden and come back in again, and I could stay for another 3 months. So after that, she really wanted me to come back. So I guess there was some like trust building between both her and I in both ways. And that felt rewarding. Because of course I wanted to get her respect. And mind you, at that time, like, I had no clue who she was.
But looking at it now, why do you think, or even back then, what is the significance of saying, "I want you to come and work for me and live in my house, but don't say anything about it. Don't say that you're doing that when you enter the country. I'm paying you in cash." Why not just go get, if she likes you and wants you to work for her, why not do it the legitimate way and just have you come over on a work visa and have it all be documented and done properly and above board? Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? That raises a lot of questions I did not have at that time, and just starting to get. I mean, I've been questioning like my whole visit, just the last couple of weeks, when you've been like sending me stuff, and I actually have had time to think about the time I was there, the things I did, she did, the way she acted, and I mean, why? I would love to have some answers, but with now I know what she have done in her past. I mean, this could have been some way of gaining my trust and involving me or any other Swedish guy in something bigger. Like, maybe she might have a plan. This just might have been at the beginning of the plan. I don't know, but it does raises a lot of questions. It does.
Of course, the 3-month term of employment is based on the fact that that's how long the tourist visa allows you to be in the country.
Yeah.
So she advised you to do the turn and burn, to go stay in Sweden for what, like a day, and then come back and do another 3-month term.
Well, there was another option. So she told me, if you have $10,000 in your account, you can apply for a 6-month like tourist visa. And she said it to me like everybody has like an extra $10,000. So she was like, you can just ask your parents to push that money over to your account. I was like, yeah, well, I'll ask. But
yeah, which begs the question, if she really liked you so much and she wanted you to come back, and that was the barrier, was you having $10,000. Clearly we can assume that she had the money. She could have taken care of it if she wanted to, but that would again have been a paper trail from her to you. But
my plan was to come back for another 3 months, but it just didn't happen. And in hindsight, I'm pretty happy that I didn't go back, because I don't know what would have happened, honestly. And I also lived pretty hard. I lived the Manhattan lifestyle. So
what's the Manhattan lifestyle?
Well, I was out, like I said, that there was a lot of like free time. I was out, I was drinking a lot, and just doing like stupid stuff. You could probably get away for a short amount of time, but not for months on end.
It's certainly a very odd arrangement, because why? I mean, you could hire anyone, literally anyone in Manhattan to walk your dog and get you coffee. Literally. There are thousands upon thousands of, people who probably fit the physical description that you're talking about, that she wanted Swedish guys who are blonde and have blue eyes. I mean, even, non-Swedish blonde guys in New York, you can find them. Why would she be bringing people from Sweden to come and get her coffee and walk her dog?
I asked her in the beginning, like why Swedish men? Like, have you been to Sweden? What's your connection? Because obviously I thought there was some connection to Sweden. And she was like, no, never been there, but would love to go. And that was it. There was no connection. So like you said, you can get anyone in Manhattan. The competition is so fierce. So I don't know.
So let's talk about Ghislaine's assistant. Rasmus has referenced her several times. That assistant was Dana Burns. She's mentioned in a Daily Beast article as an Epstein insider who could bring Ghislaine Maxwell down. There's a picture of her arm in arm with Epstein, his hand placed on her behind. She appears in the Epstein flight logs well over a dozen times. She's listed as the secretary/director of Maxwell's Terramar project. Dana told her former roommate in 2005 that she was dating Epstein and he was paying all her bills. Dana's name is associated with multiple of Maxwell and Epstein's addresses, as well as Ghislaine's name associated with Dana's former address in New Jersey. Since Ghislaine was implicated as an accomplice to Epstein, Dana hasn't surfaced. Despite all the evidence to the contrary, Ghislaine claimed in a 2016 deposition not to know where Dana lives. When asked what Dana does for her, Maxwell replies, "She helps with my not-for-profit Ocean Foundation and any other related activities that I may have." No mention of hiring young Swedish men. Maxwell has been charged with 2 counts of perjury for that deposition. So I don't know what the significance is of that. What do you have any theory as to why she would be trying to, in her 2016 deposition, distance herself from the assistant or pretend that she didn't know where she lived? I mean, would you say that Ghislaine knew where she lived?
At that time, yeah, sure. If she lived at the same place, I was there too, and she knew I was there. And I mean, they knew each other very well. I mean, they were actually interacting like they were on the same level. She didn't talk down to her or anything. She got mad at the assistant, of course, but they acted like they really knew each other. So I would say that she knew where she was living, but I guess she must have known so many things, like being her assistant. I remember her booking her flights and doing everything for her. She actually did the hard part. I did the really easy stuff. So she was, and it's kind of tricky because we I think we became pretty close, and I liked her. So we were like talking every day. I was at her house for, I think, Memorial Weekend. And like, she was really nice. So it was kind of tough, like seeing her, that she might be involved or knew a lot of things, because I felt like I was left out, or that she knew a lot of things that I didn't and never told me. I mean, I would get her, but it just felt like fake. Like everything feels so fake. So that's why I have to reevaluate like this whole thing. And but it's like, I don't care about any relationship between me and Ghislaine, because it was nothing. But I actually had like a relationship. Like I liked the assistant. I did a lot. So that's the tough part.
Okay, so I think looking at like, okay, the hiring the Swedish guys to come and get you coffee and walk your dog and live in your house. So if we're looking at reasons, what could be the reason that somebody would do this? One of the reasons that you would explore would be maybe it's some kind of, she's interested sexually, and, you know, this demographic, this type, you know, some people have a type. Maybe this is her type. Did that ever cross your mind? Was there ever any indication that maybe she was interested in you in that way?
Well, I thought of it once. And I went to the gym when I was there, and I remember buying a couple of like Nike tights, which I used to either work out in the gym or run with. And usually I worked out in the morning, then I came back and she was up, and I had these like tights. They were tights, showed like my legs, and she looked at them. She was like, she was like, "Have you been to the gym?" I was like, "Yes, I need to get more fit." And she was like, "Oh, you're already fit." And that was just the only vibe I ever got. And that happened, I think, 2-3 times. And either it was just like she liked what she saw, or she did not like what she saw. It's hard to I don't know if it sounded like she liked it. And after the party, I remember telling Dana, like, Ghislaine came to this party and it was this and that. And Dana said, well, she asked me, the assistant, like, did something happen between you two? Which I said, no, nothing happened. So I don't know. There were small like implications of
that says it could be a possibility. If she's asking,
possibility, sure.
Yeah, it would be in the realm of possibilities.
Sure. Yeah, it's not impossible, but that was the only time I ever thought about it. I mean, she Sorry, did she ever give you any compliments, just like, you know, buttering you up or ingratiating you into her, you know, because it seems like she's the kind of person who would give, like, you know, who might be like, that might be one of her tools to like manipulate somebody into doing whatever she wants, to give compliments, you know, and be like, you're well, you said that she told you were so great, you have to come back. But, you know, like, was there anything else like that? Well, in the beginning, there was none, I think. she was really like hard. But after a while, the only thing I ever heard was like in the end. But when when she thought I did something well, she said like, "Oh, how could I ever thought anything else? You're so great. You're so good. Like you have to come back. Like you're amazing." But not that much, honestly, and nothing like how I looked or anything. But no. I think if she wanted to have you, I think she used more the power side of her to manipulate. Honestly, especially in the beginning, she used the power she had to because I wanted to like have her respect. So she was in control of me, most definitely.
And now the big question I have for Rasmus. Did he see anything that tipped him off? Did he notice anything that could have pointed to sexual crimes or trafficking? Did he see Jeffrey Epstein or any other famous people ripped from the headlines?